Hello everyone, and welcome to the next instalment of the Halo 2 Ultimate Campaign Tweaks campaign walkthrough. This is Delta Halo, and you can already see the biggest changes that I've made to this early section of the chances. This text. I think in the original game you only get 3, and now, depending on difficulty, you'll get a lot more. In this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There would have been 8. They're armed with a variety of weapons, as you can hear: SMGs, battle rifles, magnums, and sniper rifles. I've also made some changes to some of the Covenant enemies here. Necessary grenade. Wow.
Sir, we've got to neutralize those turrets.
Well, restore ODST's back to life. There we go. So, some of the weapons have been changed for the Covenant, particularly the ones that drop in the Phantom a bit later, but there are a few changes. And again, you know, it's ever so slightly random. Blimey. Sniper needs to go. There we go. Maybe overkill a bit, but gets the job done. Right. And it. Now, it's up to you whether you want to swap the weapons of the AI, obviously, just as in the regular game. Normally, I tend to swap out the ones who have SMGs. Yes, there we go.
Not a problem, sir.
So he seems quite happy with that. So, let's see if we can take this building. You can also swap out the magnums as well, but I have noticed that they're pretty handy with them. So unless... wait a second, where are we?
I hear you.
There you are.
Hang tight.
Easier said than done. Inbound Phantoms, Chief.
There's a lot of hidden weapons scattered throughout this level, which is quite interesting. This one is probably the most well known on top of the structure, but later on you get to see more ODST pods in random places, including the valley section with the Jackal snipers. And also, I only found out about this recently, but next to the section with the title "You Break It, You Buy It," there's an ODST with a rocket launcher there, a dead one, which I never knew about. In all my years playing Halo 2, I only recently discovered it, so there you go. So you can see that there's slightly more grunts wielding needlers and things like that. And later on you will start to see grunts wielding different weapons, including... oh dear. Including plasma rifles in some places. Same with the Jackals.
Put on your Kevlar.
Uh-oh. Ah, see, we have their Jackals with needlers that don't have shields, which is just something I added in for a bit of variety. Didn't work. Dealt with it for me. strange, the music just cut out then.
Another phantom on approach.
Wonder why that happened. Ah. Carbine. Excellent.
Give it a bell, sir. Here it comes.
Now, this wave has some other differences, as you'll be able to see. So we have an elite with a sword, who I believe is actually in the original game. Delta Halo is quite interesting in the original game because it has the most weapon variety for elites, I think, out of any of the levels in the game. You see regular elites with energy swords, which isn't common anywhere else, really. He just killed his friend. Oh, shame about our guy there. But that's the thing, now that there's more ODSTs, you can take losses, and it's not really as much of a problem, because you have plenty more.
Hold here until the Pelican arrives, Chief.
So... there are a few cosmetic changes as well, like I believe I've changed... oh yeah, the Transport Pelican is still a Transport Pelican, but later on in the level you'll see more of the attack variant Pelicans, which was... they're sort of underused in the game, the ones with these missile pods on the wings. They don't actually fire though, unfortunately. If I could, I'd mod it so that they're able to, but
I got a good view coming in.
it's currently beyond the ability of the tools.
I saw it too. It looked like a temple. If I were a megalomaniac, and I'm not, that's where I'd be.
Waiting for the hog to land. Now, in an earlier version of this mod, I had an ODST in the gunner seat of the Warthog. Unfortunately, he's sort of useless. He did shoot, but when you get to the point where you have to abandon your vehicles, because he spawned with the hog, he just sort of sat there and then eventually just despawned, which was a shame, so I had to take him out. Now these jackals have carbines now instead of the beam rifle. Now I have the Sputnik skull on, which as you can see is probably a bad decision. Wow. See, they're still lethal, even without the beam rifle. But if you don't have the Sputnik skull on, you shouldn't have these problems of them knocking you about like nobody's business. And on lower difficulties, I think only 2 spawn.
Dear Sarge, kicking ass in outer space. Wish you were here.
Covenant has control.
I heard that, jackass.
They're going to try and bottle us up on this side of the board. The controls to extend the bridge should be in this structure.
Watch out, Chief! Race on the far side!
Pay attention, soldier.
Uh-oh.
Hey, come on, watch it, sir.
I knew that was going to happen. So you have to be very careful in this
Controls
section.
to extend the bridge should be in this structure.
Watch out, Chief! Race on the far side!
Taken care of. You got it. Help! Ow!
Hold on. He's dead. Of course the Ultra isn't killed by a rocket to the face. There we go. Now, I believe there are some other changes in this building that you'll see. See, we have spec experts with plasma rifles. And an elite there with a carbine. In case you're wondering, yes, the ODST should follow you. Sometimes you have to kind of head back just to make sure that they're all here. I've just seen that. Yep, I've just seen that they're following. Really, all that survived? Oh, that's a shame. So when the Scorpion drops, hopefully I should have a complete gang. Despite the loss of a few of our comrades on the way. Interesting glitch here. If you melee the hologram, you kind of lunge forward as if you're going for an actual enemy. That's because it is actually a character. It just has the hologram trait. It's not a scenery item, which is quite interesting. Oh no, no, no. You're gonna get killed if you get up there.
I've been listening to him since we landed. So far, it's the standard coverage, but I'll translate if there's anything interesting.
No, 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 no. You're gonna get killed.
I'm sorry, did you mean the sun? Hey, careful. Kick him.
What are they doing? Come on, in you get. And you. Can't leave anyone behind. Come on.
You had a good time doing whatever the hell you were doing?
All right, man. Let's meet. Next time I'll just call it a damn nuke.
For those wondering, I am playing with the I Would Have Been Your Daddy score on as well, which explains some of the interesting dialogue we've been getting from these ODSTs. So there aren't many changes in this next section. The main change, I suppose, is that you can have more ODSTs than normal. One of the things that I wish I had been able to do is port vehicles over from other levels, because sadly there's no Spectre in this map, so it's impossible to put a Spectre in the game. But it would have been interesting to fight a Spectre as a Scorpion tank, because I don't believe that ever actually happens. Nope, all my ODSTs are dead, apart from one. Oh, for goodness sake. You know what? I want my men back. Come on, down we go. We've all done it. So another interesting thing is Anniversary makes these areas a lot darker but gives you headlights, whereas classic Halo 2 just sort of relies on the sort of dodgy lighting system to make sure that you can see. So there you can see a Jackal with a plasma rifle, which is unusual. But interestingly, there are actually, even in the original version of the game, there are some Jackals with plasma rifles on this mission. I believe only 2 spawn, and to this day I'm not sure whether that was a mistake on behalf of the developers or whether they did just intend there to be a single instance of Jackals spawning with plasma rifles, because it could have just been, you know, a developer kind of mistake. Because they do happen a surprising amount of times in Halo 2. You know, a misclick or a misallocated tag, which leads to things basically not appearing as they should. An example is the infamous Honor Guard Counselor in the mission Gravemind. But there are also other instances, like if these Jackals with plasma rifles were indeed a mistake, then that's one. Also the Ultra Spec Ops Grunt in the Oracle. And of course the Needler Sentinel in Quarantine Zone, which is probably my favourite instance.
Careful! We're coming up to another structure.
So I have kept the plasma rifle Jackals in, of course. So the intention of this mod is to add variety, not to take it away, so... A bug that I've noticed in Halo 2 Anniversary, which to this day hasn't been fixed, is that when the ghosts do the animation after they've been destroyed, where they kind of charge up and then explode, in the original game they used to sort of move around. See, but if you look, see there, they don't anymore. Unfortunately, if Halo 2 is ever updated in any way again, it'll likely break these mods and I'll have to remake them again from scratch. But I've had to do that before in the past, so if it does happen, then I will just remake them. It's actually part of the reason why I'm making these videos, really, is to kind of, well, for posterity, really, to remind myself of what it is that I've changed. Hopefully when the official modding tools come out for Halo 2, you know, I'll be able to create a more permanent mod that will also be more accessible. So another change that I've made here is I've diversified the types of allies that can spawn from the Pelican. Because if you remember in the original mission, once all of your ODSTs die, that's it, you can't get any more. But now, for both Delta Halo and Regret, I've made it so that you can get, there's a chance that ODSTs will actually spawn in the dropships. So I think ODSTs have become very popular with fans. And it's strange that there are so few of them in Halo 2, the game in which they debuted. There we go, see? So we have an ODST with a sniper rifle. There's another jackal with a plasma rifle.
Hey, knock yourself out, Jake.
There we go. Whoever said dual wielding was useless. Talking of which... So, I haven't changed many elite weapon spawns in this mission because they are already quite varied. But this is an example of one that I have changed. Mr. Dual Wielding Plasma Pistols here. Hello. I've now beaten to death. Let's see, do we have any survivors? Okay, we have one. Oh, okay, we have a fair few survivors. Sometimes the allies, even in the original game, sort of just refuse to follow you into this next section. That can still happen, but it seems like in this instance I've got lucky and they have followed. If I could fix more of those sort of issues with the AI pathfinding, then I would. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to make it so that... an example that I often think of is the one in Sacred Icon, where the AI don't follow you after you reach the end of the gondola section, which would be impossible, I think, because of the way the geometry is positioned. But there's really no reason why the AI couldn't follow you all the way here, because there's nothing in their way, you know, it's a direct path.
You always bring me to such nice places.
Last bullet. And nothing to use it on. That's unfortunate. Well, might as well take this thing. This is one of my favourite musical tracks in all of Halo, I think. Scream's not included. Uh-oh. Shot in the back. Wasn't very honourable of that elite. See, I've also, some of the drones can sometimes have plasma rifles. Now there's some strange weapon spawns around here. There's an energy sword down there which you might have seen before, but also in that cave that I was trying to enter before I got killed. There's an ODST who dual wields magnums. He's dead, of course, but it's just interesting. Unless he just had two magnums on him, one as his primary and one in reserve, the implication is that he's actually dual wielding, which I've always found quite interesting. Oh. See, the plasma rifle drones are killers. They're much stronger than regular drones. Thankfully, I haven't increased the health or anything like that. They go down just as easily. They can output so much more damage. Ah. I think I might die here. Uh-oh. No, my last Marine. Good thing it's nearly the next level. There we go. It's over. Now this is interesting here in classic graphics. This sort of looks like a little ravine, but in Anniversary, it's like a jungle. Does look a lot better. Ooh, sneaky! He must have followed me all the way down. Blimey. That's what I get for admiring the scenery. Right.
Good. Still no word about In-Amber Clad and the Covenant battle. It's odd. The Covenant know we made landfall, but they don't seem to consider us a very serious threat. Boy, are they in for a big surprise.
Oh, go away, drone. Uh-oh. Oh, we got away. That's frustrating. Oh, it makes no real difference. Come on, drones, where are you? Now, there is just one final encounter of this mission, which I've changed slightly, but not completely.
Watch yourself.
You
On
see,
your guard.
that's basically standard. The honor guards with the dual-wielding plasma rifles and one with the energy sword. It's the ones that come in here from the right that I've changed. Okay, so this one still has his sword. This one here is now dual-wielding needlers. And that's Delta Halo, so you can download this mod using the link in the description. Thanks for watching.